Good morning, traders. I hope you guys are like me and ready to keep getting into the green. It's been a great week, 2 green days in a row. Time to keep it going here, of course, on live trading with Benzinga. Let me know what's on your top list right now, because that's what it's all about. We all want to be helping each other make a nice watch list. We'll add it to Benzinga Pro. We'll add it to Moo. We'll keep a watch. We'll set some alerts. Let's get to the action. It's live trading. Let's get after it.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, team, let's get to the action. Let's bring on the boys, as they say. The boys. We got Ryan Fluen in the house. We got Nick Brown in the house, of course. My man loves to count AI. So if you guys want to mention AI in the chat, we'll see how we can keep Nick Brown sharp. How many times can you guys mention AI in the chat? Because it definitely was mentioned on the Google call and Microsoft call yesterday. My man Nick Brown keeping count for us here. And that's why I thought maybe, is that the reason why Google won the battle yesterday? At least the AI mentions battle. Google mentioned AI 80 times while Microsoft mentioning AI 65 times. So we know who won that battle, right? All right, let's get to the action. Let's take a look at the stocks right now. I'll take a look at what kind of swing trade action I'm looking at right here. Today, I got a couple of positions. I actually got 8 positions on. Normally, I try to limit it to 7, but I've been pushing a little bit more, trying to get closer towards 10 positions on at one time. So my top positions right now, BJ to the upside. This is looking great. I actually added to this position yesterday and doubled it up. Not something I do common. Only times I do this is I'm feeling conviction. Now I'm feeling conviction off a 63.70 spot, and I'm looking for a move back above 65s, going towards 66 today. We'll see what happens there on BJ. My entry is 64.13, just to put it out there. Ross Stores will look for this to get up there to 115. I've just been kind of grinding this higher, but it really hasn't made the move. I'm looking for that 115 breakout, and a lot of that would also come with the TJX move to the upside. We'll see what happens to these stores, to these kind of retail stores, apparel stores. Hyatt is one that I grabbed yesterday. I have had Hilton. Yesterday, I actually got stopped out on it, and I switched over to Hyatt. I feel like this setup was a little bit better for me. I can measure off of this kind of bottoming action there on Tuesday, 118.82s. Looking for a move to 125 and above here on Hyatt, and it would actually be a new all-time high there for Hyatt. So we'll see if Hyatt can make that move to all-time high. PXD is one that I have in the oil game, and I'm seeing it pull back today and expecting a little bit of a pullback. Wouldn't mind it for it to come back here towards the 215s and then get the move back above 221s. This is one that I will stay in for a little bit longer position. Just got to keep a watch. Micron is one that's already starting to come back, and I feel like this is a really good position that I'm looking at right here. I might even take this in my Moo account today. I don't have it just yet, but I was even thinking about it this morning off 65s. I have it on the swing trade account at 65.92s. And why am I doing this? Because I've seen on the daily a lot of lows around the same area. A big volume pop a couple of days ago on Friday the 21st. So I'm using that low, 64.34s, to look for a move back up above 65, going through 67 and 68. So I'm going to be looking for that move to get the pop, make a move there, maybe potentially going to 70 here on Micron. All right, and the last one here to mention is CENX. You guys saw me open this position yesterday. And why did I open this position? Because of the strong move in Alcoa. So we'll see if aluminum can continue lifting today and maybe make a move here towards 950s, 970s. I won't even be selling there. I'm looking for the move at least to 10 or at least into the high 9s. We'll see what happens here on CENX. Getting out of this chart, going to go ahead and kick it to my man Ryan to take a look at his charts. And of course, we got Nick Brown with some stories. So if you guys have any catalysts you want to check out, throw it up in the chat.
All right. Good morning, folks. Welcome to the busiest day, I think, of the week here. It should be crazy. Taking a look at the SPY, I'm going to leave the earnings for Nick to cover. Nick's got a whole list of them here. I'm just going to roll through what I'm seeing here first. first of all, with the SPY, we're just kind of sitting in this sideways area here. It looks like we want to kind of break out. We'll see. I think a lot is going to be dependent upon what the reaction to the Fed is. As far as the Fed goes, I don't think there's going to be, or I don't think the big thing to react to is the number. Instead, the big thing to react to is going to be Powell's presser. And so we'll see how that unfolds over the course of the day here. Now, let's take a look at, and again, I think that ultimately is going to determine whether we go higher or lower here on the SPY. My thought is that considering I think we're going to get 25 bips and that's already baked in, I wouldn't be surprised if we broke out, but stranger things have happened before. Let's take a look at some of the smaller stocks that are on the list here today. Guess what? Our good old friend GooG is back. We actually have a catalyst here on GooG today as well. Cantor Fitzgerald initiating coverage and announcing a $4.8 price target. So that's more than a double from where we're at. And that's given the gains that we currently have here in the pre-market. So we've seen GooG move before. We know that this can move around. We've traded it in some cases. Looks to be on the docket here again today. We'll see if we get that upside break. 254, 255 upside break. We did get one of those yesterday on GFAI. See if we get it here on GooG. Now, one of the interesting things that happened here is SEMO. This is up 42 points. Silicon Motion Technology shares are trading higher following a report suggesting China approval of the company's MaxLinear merger. So seems like this is going to be a merger, but it's using language like following a report suggesting approval. So we'll see if this ends up moving around here. Don't necessarily have a plan for it. Want to see how it actually trades, if it does, once the market opens here. Next on the list, we have ABVC Biopharma. This is popping here. You can actually see it popped once, almost round tripped all the way back in, and now is taking the next leg higher. If we take a look at the news here, we do have a press release from this morning, signs a term sheet to acquire real estate assets for strategic investments. That seems a little bit vague to me, but it is popping the stock here today. We'll watch the technicals and how this trades for potential entry. PacWest, one of the things that we had yesterday, right, is PacWest is going to merge with Bank of California. They're going to be, I can't remember what the name was, Pacific West Nation?
Pacific West and Bank of California.
Yeah, no, but what's the
PacWest, PACW?
Right. What's the new entity when they merge going to be called? They said it yesterday. I laughed at it. I can't remember exactly what it is. Sorry for putting you on the spot.
It's okay.
The PacWest here, we traded down. We popped in the after hours. I would expect there's still going to be some action here. Even some of the bigger banks, there's been action in recently. So this is at least something to keep on your radar. WRNT, this looks like it's trying to have a strong pre-market here. We're up about 20%. I can't remember.
Pacific Western.
I was like, yeah, Pacific Western. That's pretty close to what it already is. So in any case, yesterday, this IPO'd. Today, we'll see how this actually ends up trading. Let me see. These IPOs, sometimes several days after, they have crazy moves. One of the things I'm going to be looking for is a break of this 580 area. We do break to the upside. Perhaps we do get crazy. Any trades on this would be short term. I don't really know anything about the company. I just know that some of these recent IPOs have provided some really good trading vehicles for us. AULT, Alt Alliance. This actually has a catalyst here this morning as well. You can see we popped as high as 480, came all the way back in, but it looks like it's kind of flagging here. We did have some earnings information here on AULT, so it'll be interesting to see if we get any follow through here. I think a trade back to the VWAP with some good volume here would actually make for a decent trade here today. Now, several things have to happen for that to materialize, but we'll absolutely keep that on watch. First spot that I'd be really concerned with is obviously the VWAP, but after that, 427 to 430 here, I think that might send it. High of 485 from the pre-market. Not sure if we get up there, but maybe. I wanted to talk about here Tilray. All right, so Tilray also up about just under 20% here. They are having earnings. The conference call is in progress. We'll see where Tilray actually goes. Worth noting because I know a lot of people trade these. We talked about GooG already. Let's see, TSEM Tower Semiconductor. This actually had earnings here this morning as well. trading higher after Intel acquisition target reported mixed second quarter results, also part of the PR there. So we'll see where all these go. Nick, I wanted to leave you plenty of time for the earnings. I know you've got more of those. We do seem to have a lot of these smaller targets on the docket here today, so we should have a fun morning prior to the Fed. I'm probably going to stay away from everything broader market and S&P related until we get that Fed, but we'll see. We'll see what the setups tell us.
I was going to say, what do you think? Because JP Morgan was out yesterday. They put out their trading day scenario, and they think the probability right now is, they say Fed day scenario, there's a hike and a pause. That's 65% today that happens. And if that was the case, the S&P reaction on Fed day would be up between a quarter and 3/4 of a percentage point. So 0.25 to 0.75. And they say, they go through these probabilities. Do you think we get a hike today? I think you said that, right?
Yeah, I actually think a 25 bips hike is baked into today. That's what I think that we're going to get. I actually think the market is probably going to go a little bit higher if we get everything that's expected. The caveat that I would say is that for some reason we get the curveball and we get a 50 bips hike today. I think that might trigger some more selling. I'm not really looking much past this particular decision. Maybe we do pause. I know, isn't it this one where the break is a little bit longer than normal, so they actually get more data points before the next one?
Yes, because there's no meeting in August.
Right. So to me, it seems
we get
like
Jackson Hole. That's one to watch.
Well, right, and he gets to talk there. So to me, this almost feels like in the NFL when you play a Thursday night game and then you don't play again till Sunday. They call it a mini bye. Well, it seems like the same thing is happening here. They get a mini pause because there's just kind of this natural extra time built in between these two meetings. So I'm not really looking ahead to that. I think we get 25 today. I'd like to see 50 and see chaos and have that meme with that little guy in the fire. Like, that would be awesome. That if that's what today was, that'd be great. I don't think we're going to get that.
Well, we'll have to see. 2 p.m. is going to be coming very quickly. Let's roll into earnings. We're going to start off with the big ones. Google, ticker GooG, or with the L too. EPS come in at $1.44. Estimates for $1.32. Revenue $74.6 billion. Estimates for $72.77 billion. Operating income $21.84 billion. Estimates for $19.96 billion. Google ad revenue $58.14 billion. Estimates for $57.45 billion. The CFO Ruth Porat to become president and chief investment officer, and AI was mentioned 80 times on the conference call. Far more than Microsoft's. We can roll to Microsoft's ticker MSFT. They gave a lot of guidance on the call, so we're going to go through the numbers and I'll give the guidance. EPS $2.69, estimates for $2.56. Revenue $56.19 billion, estimates for $55.49 billion. Productivity revenue $18.29 billion. Estimate was for $18.18 billion. The intelligent cloud revenue, $23.99 billion, just above expectations of $23.8 billion. More personal computing revenue, $13.9 billion, $13.58 billion. Now, the guidance from the call comes from the CFO, and he says growth from AI sales will be gradual. They see currency to boost full year 24 sales by 1%. They see full year 24 OpEx growth to remain low. CapEx to rise sequentially each quarter of full year 24. Sees full year 24 cost of revenue growth rates expected to be higher. They see Q1 productivity sales to be $18 billion to $18.3 billion. They see intelligence cloud sales to be $23.3 billion to $23.6 billion. They see Q1 Azure growth to be 25 to 26%. And they see Q1 more personal computing sales to be $12.5 billion to $12.9 billion. AI was mentioned 65 times on the call. It is interesting to hear the explanations of why the stock is down pre-market. Investors and traders wanted to hear more of their Copilot. That's going to be their new AI program that's going to cost users $30 a month. And still waiting. They want more details and more clarity regarding how does it work for bigger areas. So like NBC, MSNBC, CNBC, they all use Outlook. So right there, that's charging each user, if they're going to use Copilot, an extra $30 a month, which is probably a lot more money than a lot of people anticipated. So there's people do want more guidance regarding that. Visa, ticker V, they reported earnings. Adjusted EPS, $2.16. Estimates for $2.11. Revenue, $8.1 billion. Estimates for $8.06 billion. Cross-border volumes at constant currency plus 17%. And total proceed Transactions 54 billion. Estimate was for 53.46 billion. Snapchat. Oh, snap. This one's taking a dive. Ticker Snap. Adjusted EPS loss of 2 cents, better than the expectation of 4 cents, loss of 4 cents. Revenue 1.07 billion. Estimates for 1.05 billion. Daily active users 397 million. Estimates for 395.2 million. They see Q3 revenue of 1.07 billion to 1.01 or 1.13 billion, right in line with expectations of 1.13 billion. And they see Q3 adjusted EBITDA loss 50 million to 100 million. The estimate loss for that one was 2.14 million. Texas Instruments, ticker TXN. Adjusted EPS $1.87. Estimates for $1.76. Revenue $4.53 billion. Estimates for $4.35 billion. They see Q3 EPS $1.68 to $1.92. Estimates for $1.90. See Q3 revenue $4.36 billion to $4.74 billion. Estimates for $4.59 billion. This morning, Thermo Fisher TMO is a ticker. Adjusted EPS $5.15. Estimates for $5.43. Revenue $10.69 billion. Estimates for $11 billion. They see full year adjusted EPS to $22.28 to $22.72. Previously saw $23.70. Estimates for $23.58. Full year revenue $43.48 billion to $44 billion. Previously saw $45.3 billion. Estimate was for $45.22 billion. And the macroeconomic environment was more challenging in Q2, according to the release. AT&T, they reported earnings. Ticker T, adjusted EPS 63 cents, better than expectations of 60 cents. Revenue $29.9 billion. Estimate was for $30.01 billion. Adjusted EBITDA $11.1 billion. Estimate was for $10.7 billion. Free cash flow $4.2 billion. Estimate was for $3.77 billion. Coca-Cola, ticker KO.
Really quick on T, did they say anything about a dividend?
No dividend was announced. No headline made aware of dividends or buybacks.
Thank you.
Coca-Cola KO, adjusted EPS 78 cents. Estimate was for 72 cents. Revenue $12 billion. Estimate was for $11.74 billion. They raised the full year guidance and they see full year adjusted organic revenue 8% to 9%. Estimate was for 8.36%. And to end it off, we get Boeing this morning. They reported better than expectations EPS loss of 82 cents. Estimate was for 85 cents. Revenue came in at $19.75 billion. Estimate was for $18.53 billion. They see adjusted free cash flow $2.58 billion. Estimate was for $0.74 billion. They still see full year adjusted free cash flow to $3 billion to $5 billion, better than expectations of $4.07 billion. And they reaffirm guidance. So that stock, Boeing, ticker BA, really doing well this morning.
Yeah, it sure is. Didn't we get some good news there on the MAX orders too?
Yes, the MAXs are coming back. And I didn't touch on this, but Wells Fargo, they announced a $30 billion buyback, and the dividend is going to 35 cents from 30 cents. We got that news last night after the close.
Okay. One of the other stocks that was reporting really good earnings is Vicor here. Stock's up 41%, just absolutely ripping. I didn't go through any of this. I kind of just saw it before the open here. I got no trade plan here for this, but this stock just an absolute monster move here. One of the things that this could do here is create a floating island swing trade. So that's something we might want to keep on watch here, looking at that daily chart. Weight Watchers has been strong these past several days. We're having a big gap up and move here on Weight Watchers, ticker WW. WRNT, we'll see if this can actually break through this top here on WRNT. It's really kind of rejecting at that spot and coming back in.
I was going to say, Ryan, we're getting some news out of Bumble that they are introducing Bumble for Friends friendship finding app. We also got some news out of PayPal and Microsoft that Microsoft announces integration of PayPal's Pay Later solution in the US, UK, Australia, Germany, France, Spain, and Italy this morning.
Okay. Sorry, took a little bit here on WRNT. Going to try. It's coming back in. I got to be very careful with this one. Break of the VWAP and you're out here. Or I am. I shouldn't say you. Let's see if WRNT can bounce a little bit here. Sorry, I took an early trade. I normally don't do this, but we're trying here. Come on, WRNT. Let's go higher. Let's go higher here. Bringing in a bid. Let's go. Looks like a couple of you were in WRNT from a day prior. That would be really awesome. It breaks this 450. I'm out. Oh, all right. Took small loss there out of the open. That sucks, but we'll go ahead and see if this sets up again. I'm sorry, Nick. What were you saying right when I was taking an L there?
Watch Union Pacific. We got some news this morning. They reported earnings. I didn't cover them, but they are announcing some rechanging. So they're announcing Jim Venna is the CEO now. Beth Whited named president of Union Pacific, and they elected Mike McCarthy to the board. They did report earnings. They did miss on the top and bottom line. So EPS 257, estimates for 275, sales 5.96 billion, estimates for 6.12 billion. They did miss expectations, but just wanted to get that out there that there's some reshuffling in the company.
Okay. Tilray approaching its highs here on Tilray. WRNT continuing to break down. Got to wait for that to firm up and set up again. Oh, just hung a little bit there. I don't know what happened on my platform here. Hang on a sec.
I was going to say there are lots of price targets. Still trying to go through the notes for Google and Microsoft. Actually, I'm seeing more price target changes for Google than Microsoft. One up on my screen is Deutsche Bank just raised their price target on Google to 140 from 125. That's like one of probably 20 some estimates this morning. So notes are still flying out, and hopefully I'll be able to bring those price targets to you later in this show once I go through the notes.
All right, sounds good. Milky asking about TDOC. TDOC reported earnings last night, also had a reiteration of neutral with a maintained price target from Credit Suisse this morning. So it looks like that's trading up at the backs of its earnings. And okay, so Jay, you were mentioning XPEV, those 17 calls, 10 cents to $1.70. Good Lord. Jay, that's a lotto play. Nice
I was
job.
going to say, watch XPEV, because there's actually news this morning that VW takes a 700 million XPeng stake for the EV pack to win back China. That news just crossed.
Yep.
Yeah, this is why I'm a little upset, kicking myself right now, hearing you guys talk about XPIV, because when it first had the pop on, I know the specific day, it was June 16th. It was starting to get a little bit of a pop up on sales and stuff, and the decline there to $10. And that was also the day that China mentioned the tax increase for EVs. At that point, I felt, hey, you have now fiscal policy behind you, fiscal stimulus for the EVs in China. That should give them the lift. And ever since then, they're on a nice little takeoff. Even NIO, right? It doesn't have to only be XPEV, but LI also raising from that moment. And so I honestly think that, hey, these could keep going. I mean, they're starting to push. That's why I'm looking at China stocks. I think BABA could take the next step up today. It already just made a move there to 95.70s, could pull back here to the VWAP. This is one that I will day trade if I get an opportunity back at VWAP. I'm looking at it. We'll see what happens.
Real quick, Staff Sergeant Ryan, if you're out there, you've been asking me about Boeing for months now. We're finally breaking out of this consolidation area that we've been in all year. Look at this, breaking out of the top. I think you asked me which price it would see first, 180 or 220 or 230. I can't remember what your actual question was, but looks like a nice upside break here on Boeing off the backs of those good numbers that Nick reported to us earlier.
Guys, at least I'm glad I mentioned this one in the pre-market there for you guys. Look at Micron go here right out the gates. I felt like there was a lot of volume coming into Micron in the last couple of days. Somebody big trying to get in here. Look at that nice little daily candle to start the day. If this can make a move to above 67s, close towards like almost 67.80s, this is going to be looking really good on the day. This is a swing trade I have on, looking really good. Not a bad move out the gates here. Micron pretty strong here. Remember, I've talked also about AMD the last couple of days. This is actually giving you a chance back down to 110s today. We'll see if it bounced, but definitely Micron pretty strong. How's NVIDIA doing right now? Getting the pull down there. Meta's the one to watch, right? Reports earnings tonight. Will this already get hit here in the intraday? I think that's what you might be able to see today. A rejection from 300 is so important. Right now, it just rejected 300. Now starting to come back down. It could come down to 293s. It's already down there to 296 and still getting hit. Kicking it to the Moo chart. We'll see what happens today. Let's go to the Explorer chart. If you guys have a trade, definitely just interrupt here. Search engine up today, of course. You know Google's up. Quantum computing doing well. We'll see if IonQ can do well there.
QBTS with it.
Railroads doing well. So that's kind of more of a value play in railroads today, up a little bit. Space economy doing well, of course. Boeing helping there. Virgin Galactic up also today. But Boeing is a good one to kind of keep an eye out for. It's already getting the lift there to 226. I like this. I got to say, one of the things that could help Boeing is not only is Boeing doing well, but the airlines are doing well, right? I think airlines are one to look at today on pullbacks. It just pulled back. American Airlines. I want a piece of this already here. I like this. Go ahead and try to get a little bit of a piece of American Airlines here. And I might even take this in the Moo account here. If you don't mind American Airlines at all, just have to kind of hold off the 1650 area today. It's looking pretty decent. Well, let's see what happens if we see airlines just come right back up towards 19.
XPEV just absolutely ripping 19s now. Jay, what a monster trade on XPEV. Absolutely should have followed you into that one. My leaps are 10. Entry from 170, almost a 10x there.
Real estate going up today, financial services, consumers, cyclicals, industrials. What's in the red? Technologies. So I'm looking at industrials going higher right now. Also look for defensive names to maybe catch a little bit of a rebound. I'm seeing Coke below 62s. I could see it recover 62s. Maybe make a move there to 63s. Not a bad one to keep an eye out for.
Coinbase calls coming across.
Coinbase.
Just some call sweeps.
All right, looking to see if energy is going to go higher today. XOM, stocks like that, will they keep the push? XOM has pulled back here to around the 105s earlier. That looks good for it to hold now 105. I wouldn't want to see that break. I want to see it go to the upside there. Steel Dynamics a little slightly into the red for the day so far, but I'm looking for a nice little push above the 105s. I still have this from yesterday. You can look to play US Steel here. That's already pulling back and looking like it wants to keep going. We'll see what happens there. BTU's also on the radar today. That's pulled back here to 2237s. I might actually take a shot off this 2230s area. Yeah, this looks good even for the Moo trade here. So I'm looking for BTU today. See if I can get this really quickly. All right. Give myself an ability to add to this. So I'm going to go with just a little bit of a smaller entry right now. Maybe let's go to the VWAP a little bit lower than where we're at right now. Look for a little bit of a pullback to VWAP. VWAP's around 2233s. I like 2233s here, or 34s. Putting out an order there for BTU. We'll look to see if I get filled there, but looking for a pullback here, fill for BTU. I'll let you guys know if I do get that.
Yeah, call me crazy, but I might try Tilray right here.
Tilray.
Yeah, trying to go. You can see what we're trying to do here. We're seeing if we're going to be able to pop above this. Let me actually add VWAP back to this. So anyway, well, we're trying to pop above this. We'll see if we do. 208. There's some size at 206. We'll see if we get through it here. Any pullback back to the VWAP and a break, and I'm out. But we shall see. Long Tilray for I don't really see a whole lot here this morning, to be honest. I started off 0 for 1 right out of the gate. I'm trying Tilray now. Who knows what's going to happen with that? But don't really see a whole lot of great setups here today.
Micron now at 67 now. That's looking like a nice little rip there. If there's anything that looks the best or my best call of the day, definitely Micron. I mean, look at that chart. I don't think there's many charts looking like that right now at the gates. Maybe XPEV.
Yeah, XPEV is the monster. I mean, XPEV is the monster. We had a
Let's go to
chatter
the
here.
Qs here. Let's see what's up on the Qs, right? Let's see what's up from the open. ADP, MU, Lucid up today, KX, PDD. So that tech play, right? On Baba, on JD. Look at that. Look at that tech play, baby, on China. Who's talking about this on Monday? Monday. Not this morning. Monday morning, I said, hey, you know what? About Monday going up. That looks good too. But PDD, Baba, all looking really good. Talked about on Monday, would we get back there towards 100? It's looking good off that 95 today. Baba. JD, Baidu pushing also off the 150s.
Maybe China is coming back.
No, the thing is that you're going to get this mentioned, Nick, whether in like a day or two, you're going to get this mentioned about a political meeting that is supposed to happen this week in China. And that's supposed to release like stimulus for this area. And so, like always, right, we'd like to play the rumor versus the news. By the time the news comes, they're going to probably whack these things. And so that's the truth, is that if the rumor's already out, the stocks start reading that. I think that's what's happened there.
I think we're going to have muted action, though. I think this morning we're going to have a lot of muted action, and we're just all waiting for the Fed, just because not only is the press release going to signal something, but his press conference is really going to make a difference today, given this is the biggest pause, one. This is going to be two. We have Jackson Hole in August, and Powell likes to allude and talk there. And three, there's this question that's resounding and that's alarming, that what's going to happen next? What's happening in September? Is there a hike? Is there a pause? What's going on in November? Hike, pause? Is there going to be a difference? So I think everybody's muted. Action is muted on most names, unless you get some of these names that continue to just are dollar stocks and penny stocks. But a lot of action is going to be coming at 2:30. We'll see if the Dow can continue its winning streak. 13 days now in a row we're going for. Today at 2 and 2:30. 2:30 are really going to make a difference.
Yeah.
All right, guys, looking right now to try to get into max N. I'm looking for pullbacks below 2750s here on max N, trying to get into a solar play today. So this is going to be with the Mumu account. This would be a swing trade off of the 27. So I got to try to get as closest to 27 as possible here. But let's see if this can really start moving max N. I want to see First Solar close back above 200 today. That'll be my conviction type of play. If First Solar can close back up above 200, I could see solar stocks taking another lift. Things like this is what I look for all the time. I look at the leader, I look at the laggard, right? Leader, laggard style trading. That's what I always talk about. KSS with a 4% breakout. So with that move that you're seeing in KSS, I'd also keep an eye out on Macy's to continue above 1650s right now. That looks really good on the daily. Nice little pop already to 1650s. So maybe we get a pullback here to VWAP or slightly below, and then a continuation above 1650 for Macy's today.
XPEV, Jay saying XPEV wants 20. It blew through 20, like 20 wasn't even there. I mean, it just went right through it. XPEV really the only really strong stock I see here. I'm getting my butt kicked this morning, guys. I got nothing.
I mean, you can go for the other automakers in China. Those are getting the lift also. Why not just play the lag, right? That's what I would have done there. NIO, look at how NIO actually went down below VWAP today while SPEV was ripping. So you can look for the auto players.
Yeah,
Lucid
that was a good call.
Higher, right? Why not just so you go with the sympathy play, right? Sometimes you can't catch the leader, but you can catch the sympathy. Look at Lucid now up above 710s and starting to push there. That could actually, in the long run, help Tesla. Look how Tesla's starting to climb off of that. Tesla's going higher, and I feel like that could also start to get the lift there. As you're seeing Tesla stock starts to rise, we'll see if it gets back above 270s. That's a kind of an interesting level today to watch for, but it could still run here off the 265s up there towards 270s.
Hey guys, watch China names. We're just getting some headlines that are crossing the wires here, literally just breaking moments ago. U.S. Treasury Undersecretary Shambaugh says U.S. will not hesitate to take targeted actions against China to protect U.S. national security, human rights. In Senate testimony, he says economic decoupling from China would be disastrous, nearly impossible to do. Targeted national security actions and building resilient supply chains are not steps to decouple from China. China uses non-market policies, government support to gain market share from foreign competitors far more than other countries. China need to be cooperate in global challenges, including climate change and debt distress, and protecting U.S. interests require more international leadership, fully funding of IMF and World Bank.
All right, we'll take a look at those. Andy, great to see you. Give a shout out to Mighty Soldiers here. Andy, great to see you in the morning. Tilray trying to come back here, trying to take that spot out. Went through 203, 206, the next big spot with size there. Looks like there's some here at 205 as well. Would love for this stock to just give me a pop. Good morning, bro. There's size up here at 205 on Tilray, and they're actually hitting it. So see if they have enough juice to take it down.
Basic material is starting to get strong now. I'm looking to see if they view out bounce and go higher.
We're through. Now we're at a spot here, 206. See if 206 gets taken. Oh. Got a thunderstorm rolling in here in Chicago. Just got like warnings all over my computer and phone. The sky is dark. Tilray going here. All right. So we did hook a winner here. Let's go.
Guys, watch Gap and Mattel. I know this is, everybody's thinking, oh, he probably has some Barbie news. No Barbie news, but
thankfully,
the toy maker at Mattel, the president and chief operating officer, Richard Dixon, I should say, he's taking over as Gap's next chief executive, ending a year-long search for a new leader. Mattel told staff about Dixon's departure early Wednesday, as many were still celebrating the company's box office success with the Barbie movie. So just watch Gap and Mattel there.
All right, order out here to try to get some BTU. You guys heard that. Trying to get this on the actual Moomoo account here. So order is out there. We'll see if we're able to get filled. I'm right below it at 34s. It just jumped to 35s on the bid, so I might have to jump up there if I want to get in right now. But looking for the move back above 50s today, and then eventually making a move to 23s. That'd be a nice little like 60-cent upside outlook for a 10-cent risk. Tilray still moving, man?
Yeah, it's still moving here. It seems to have some strength. It took a while to grind out that spot. It stopped at 209, and then it blew through it and stopped at 210 here. Some more big size here at 210. They're hitting it though. We'll see if it keeps this juice up. So I'm in profit at this point now. It's just a matter of taking it. Not going to let the trade go red on me, of course.
Should have been watching one name that I talked about this morning. I talked about, well, there's one stock that has been in the gutter, not partaking in the rally. It's T-Doc. Look at that liftoff there. Talked about this just like probably 10 minutes ago. Sometimes you don't listen to yourself, Mitch. That's a nice little move. T-Doc with some earnings out today and getting the lift. Man, that was a nice little push higher towards 2672s. That was a 8% move out the gates there for T-Doc.
Still watching. The strength here in Tilray is pretty decent. I don't know if they're going to have it to take this 210 down, but they've hit it twice. They've gone at it twice now, and here's the third time. They're taking the size now. I know, Cleo. I'm excited too. Yeah, Cleo sees the storm coming in, and he's like, "What the hell is going on out there?" It is like dark. Like
Shop
dark,
looks interesting for pullback buys now. I'd like to pull back below 65s and like maybe the 64.80s here, but looking interesting on the daily.
Ryan may have to go take cover.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
but aren't summer storms the best? But aren't summer storms the best, Ryan? They're like so like relaxing to watch.
I seem to be in the minority. I like when it rains, especially if I'm inside and I have to be inside for work. I mean, bring it on.
I'm with
my
you.
Power doesn't
I
go
love
out.
sitting out and watching.
All right, looking for pullbacks to 65 here to get in shot, but I might take a little bit of a starter right now on the swing. Doesn't look bad at all. And looks like I'm not going to be able to get BTU. It's already up there to the 40s, so might look for 65s on shot, but 65's already kind of going up higher. That looks good.
You guys are taking a look at a win on potentially a curl. Yeah, you know what, Andy, Lucid is looking interesting. I do want to own some of that. I was actually thinking about maybe opening up a call spread on Lucid. Let me price that out here when I get out of my Tilray trade. Send me some of that rain. Yeah, I mean, believe me, if I could control the weather, my life would be a lot happier. Rain,
Shop
go west to
65.30.
Arizona.
Shop just continuing to lift, not giving me a chance to pull back by. It's already gone up about 20 cents since I started talking about it. We'll see if it keeps going. Looking
Which
good
chart?
there on shop.
Okay.
On shop. No worries. I'll show you guys that right quick.
Got you.
This is shop here. Daily chart looks really nice off this kind of pullback. It goes into the gap a little bit. It reverses, could give us a kind of a nice reversal candle now. Maybe start making its way back to 70s. It actually doesn't look too bad right now.
Soon, good call, Bex. Looks like this is breaking out here on Soon.
On Soon?
S-O-U-N, yeah, right here.
The sound hound.
You know, the thing about, yes.
I don't really think this is a breakout personally, but.
No. Just on the intraday chart.
Yeah.
It's just a nice push up and broke out of the spot that stopped it. That's all. Sorry, not a daily chart breakout. I'll try to be more specific, Mitch.
No, I mean, with these penny stocks, I mean, how much is that lift there? I mean, we got 3% lift there from the VWAP. So my thing is like, with these penny stocks, I'm sure everyone's looking for those 20, 30, 40% type of rips. So we'll see it. AI looks a little bit better today, I feel like. And I think that's maybe just playing off the AI move here through 40. So 40 is a big spot there for AI.
I took Tilray off here for a gain. I'll wait for this to set up again. If it goes through 210 without me, goes through 210 without me, but might be able to play it again. We'll see. Got some of that money back from the loss at the outset here, so just clawing back. About flat at this point.
Still looking for the BTU pullback, but energy is getting hit a little bit here, so a little bit careful on that. So I'm going to cancel actually as this pulled back. It probably would have filled me if I held it even there for one more second there. But energy is starting to get hit here, and I got to be a little bit careful. If energy comes down, coal stocks might take a little bit of a back seat today in basic materials. They were so hot yesterday in different areas, so I want to keep an eye out on like CENX as that starts to come back up above VWAP. That looks like a lot better than taking maybe coal today. AA going higher already. This is another stock that I could keep an eye out for, kind of an inside day now. Let's see if it takes out yesterday's close, 35.62. So Alcoa off the VWAP is one way to play this. CENX. Another way, I already have this one on a swing. So maybe I can go after a day trade on Alcoa here off of like maybe 35.20s. Looking for the move back up above 35.50s and a little bit higher than that. You could see a move eventually coming to around 36. We'll look to see if it starts to push. That's Alcoa. T-Doc broke 27. There you go, man. At least that was one that I'm glad I brought up this morning that I don't think anybody thought was actually going to get a move. CCJ, man, that continued yesterday. It's pulled back a little bit some today. We'll see what happens on this one. If I can get a pullback entry, I definitely would, but I would do it right back to where I bought it the first time, which is around the 32.70s.
I was going to say,
go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say, Ryan, watch Rivian, watch Neo, watch Li Auto.
Dude, okay, it's time out. So I was just going to talk about Rivian. we talked about doing the sympathy trade, the relationship trade. XPEV absolutely blasting off here.
That's where I was going with that too.
I'm looking at Rivian's daily chart. This is a good looking daily. I mean, if you snap 27 here to the upside, we're currently at 26.75, so we're only a quarter away. You snap this to the upside, this might actually even go today. This is Rivian's daily. If we take a look at the intraday here, we're kind of pulling back off that high. You can see we tested it a little bit earlier. We're coming off that high here. Let's keep an eye on Rivian. I like that. I have no position right now, but I am watching this. And you were mentioning some of the other ones like Li Auto and Neo. I at this point just focused on Rivian. Let me see if I can price out that Lucid call spread.
There's a reason why, right? Because the truth is, it's that you look at like the way that I look at things, right? Well, I don't look at things like one stock specific, right? It seems like it's one stock specific, but look at this, guys. Look at this full screen here. Look at my auto manufacturers. When you go into a space and you see this, right? So XPEV is the leader right now, but you got FFIE up, Lucid up, NIO up, Rivian, PSNY, PTRY. NIU, every stock pretty much here at the top, kind of going
Here comes
higher.
27 on Rivian.
It's an industry-wide move. And remember how I talked about how Tesla could move up off on that. There you go. Tesla moving higher also.
Here comes 27 on Rivian, folks. Oh, I'm not going to take it yet. They're going to try.
We'll see what happens, though. But definitely Rivian going higher. A lot of these stocks going higher right now. Not looking too bad of a day there as you're getting that upside move. And look at the Qs now up there towards 378s. This looks like it could start really going here. Apple looks like it wants to recover VWAP. That actually looks like an interesting day trading opportunity here. If you guys like Apple to day trade, this looks interesting. We'll see if it takes the 193.75 to just goes higher here. Meta starting to recover right back to 300. This could go higher. That's why I'm not shorting Meta today, even though I think that, the earnings could crush it. It's right back above 300. I don't know. It's an interesting stock definitely today. Look at that play there on Meta. Not sure how to play it there.
Rivian right back on here. We'll see if it can try to take off this 27. I did take some here, but I got it late because I put out a limit order that just got ran away from, and then I chased it. So I feel like I've got caught with my pants down at the moment.
That's how I feel in Steel Dynamics as it's pulling back here. And I'm just trying to watch to make sure that we hold yesterday's kind of low action, because if I let that crack yesterday's low action,
guys, we are getting some more news on these stocks. Watch Blink Charging, BMW, General Motors, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, Mercedes, and Jeep maker Stellantis. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that these companies are planning to join an investment to build thousands of electric vehicle chargers here in the U.S. Sources are telling them that are familiar with this matter, and they said this is a bid to ease a shortage of charging spots that deters many customers from choosing EVs. And the group is targeting the addition of around 30,000 fast chargers in urban and highway areas over several years. The joint investment is modeled after a similar charging company in Europe, Ionity, that was formed in 2017, funded by many of these automakers. So Blink is really higher right now. Blink's like 4.5% on my screen. So watch just BMW, GM, Hyundai, Kia, all the EV playmakers, but those stocks are coming to mind right now.
All right, orders out at 825 and 820s to get in here at Charge Point. It's pulling back there. I'm putting out orders. I got 20 shares right now on the Moo. Let's see if I can get after this Moo action today. We'll see what happens. And yep, there it is. Get to the chopper. I'm going for it. I'm going for it, guys. Fire in the hole. Let's go. Let's see what happens here. I'm jumping on it. I got the Charge Point there. So Charge Point at 822 average cost. Look at that nice little pullback buy. Let's go.
JPM analyst downgraded XPEV when it was 9. Whoops. That probably wasn't a good move.
Whoopsies. Woo, who put that bid right there, man? There was a nice little bid that showed up there. Someone wanted to get filled at 821 right quick. Let's see if this starts to work its way back. I'm going to look for Charge Point to come right back up through 850s. So I want like quick reaction right back above the VWAP. There's 828s looking good there. And I could have grabbed more shares, but for me on this account, 40 shares is actually not that bad, right? Let's say if I get like a 50-cent run, that's already our profits that we normally look at. So let's just keep this in mind. Let's keep things a little bit tight here on Charge Point. It shouldn't go into the red. So a lot of what I'm looking at also is the hourly chart versus focusing too much on like the 5-minute chart. And so that's going to help me definitely get around things here. You can see pullbacks towards around 816, 815 should now hold. And then I'm going to look for that to keep going to the next upside move, which is a move back up above the highs here of 843s.
Still watching Rivian here.
And I could actually add more, but I don't want to go too hard at it. EVgo pulling back here. I like maybe around 410s or 408s for EVgo, but we'll see what happens with those mentions that you just brought up, Nick.
I was going to say, watch housing stocks. We're getting some housing data from June. New home sales for June, 697,000 versus the 763,000 previously. Estimates for 725,000. New home sales month over month, actual negative, or so down 8% versus the 12.2% previously. Estimates for down 5%, and new home sales month over month for June come in actual negative 2.5% versus the 12.2% estimate was for 5%. So watch the housing stocks. We know the housing market is in some tight areas with supply issues. Watch the lumber cost, just because building a new home and selling a new home right now is probably not the best time.
Definitely. Home builders are the only ones that are really doing well because they have some leeway with the interest rates. But you're right. When the supplies go up, so too does the overall cost of building the home.
Yeah, that's why I like continued lift in a stock that doesn't move much, WFG. Just to give you guys outlook on what could I play wood to go to the upside. That's my play. What do you got, Ryan?
No, I was just saying, just still watching Rivian. I had nothing important.
No worries.
I'm waiting for this flag. I'm waiting for this intraday flag to change, either break down or go up.
Yeah, I like West Fraser Timber. And so I know we sometimes talk about like kind of longer term stocks. To me, this makes kind of sense. West Fraser Timber. Doesn't look too bad, right? Since the IPO, this seems pretty decent to me. We'll see what happens. Look at the
chart. Looks good on that trend break too.
Yeah, it's a monthly chart too, and so I would keep watch like the monthly chart on a stock like this, but it doesn't look bad at all. Looks like it wants maybe eventually 100, and if lumber prices keep going higher, well, this could definitely be a play for that play. Home Depot has been going up also, I think, based off of that outlook too. And look at Home Depot right now, as that's starting to get a little bit of a drive through 326. Home Depot has been pulling back there towards the VWAP. We'll look to see if it takes 328 today. All right, let's go back to the charge point action. I'm just trying to keep a slow watch to see if the volume's going to come right back in it. Of course, with that mention of news, it actually got the decline there. I'm glad I didn't buy the high there. I'm sure somebody might have gotten caught there at 850s. I feel bad for you guys, man, because that's how quickly these trades can turn back to the downside and give you a quick pullback there. So I'll keep watch to see what happens here in charge point. I'll let you guys know how it's moving. Wish. Even Wish is going up, man. That's when you know we're in a bubble.
The Wish indicator, as Mitch is going to patent. Rivian making another attempt to move at 27 here. Come on, Rivian. This has got to be it, right? I've been adding and through. Rivian, let's go. Been waiting for that for like the past 5 minutes. Now I can go to the bathroom. Thank you.
Now you can do it, baby. There you go.
Okay, really quick.
Really got quick. It? All right, let's show
really
it.
Quick. So right here is entry, right? Trying to get above 27. It comes back in, and I'm adding, and I'm adding, and I'm adding, and I'm like, would you just go already? Boom, out, going to the bathroom. BRB.
That's my boy, man. Get it, man. And I just mentioned what, like 5 or 10 minutes ago, right? All these automakers that you could have gone after. This hasn't been 1 minute ago. This is like at least now 15 minutes ago. And look, NIO has gone up another 1.86, right? You look at Rivian, that's what Ryan played. That started to keep going up, right? PTRA, looking interesting there. You can go even to Fisker. Fisker pulling back now to 590s. We'll get the lift above 6. We'll see what happens there. LI up there to 4070s, 4017s. That's looking good. XPEV, we continuing the push. Man, up there to 2129. Maybe pullbacks in 1950s make sense on this, but that's actually ways away from there, right? Big move today. XPEV. And it's China overall, guys. China overall. Look at BABA going higher, almost back towards 100. JD, PDD, China stocks, baby. FXI is what I'll point out to you guys. And look at that starting to lift. If you're kind of the ETF or that kind of outlook, this doesn't look too bad to maybe play what? The C-Web? C-Web looking pretty good right now with a nice little lift off there. Believe it or not, if I could get a pullback today to 43.50s, I'm all for it. I'm looking for it. This is just taking off way too fast here on the C-Web. So any pullback on C-Web, I'm actually going to be looking for a play. And I've been trying to avoid these China plays for a while, but this still looks like a really nice move.
I'm back.
All right.
Oh, all right. Rivian keeps pushing, by the way. Congrats to any of you
what
that
I
hit
just
that.
started talking about, Ryan, is that I don't think it's an overall China rally. FXI. Look at FXI. Look at C-Web. I think this is an overall China rally. Not just necessarily in the autos, right?
Yeah, it's the from their stimulus, isn't it? Weren't they talking about doing a huge stimulus package?
Yeah, because their GDP and their economically, it's not great over there. They thought they would be in a better position than they were right now, and it's just GDP is still, I think, down substantially. It's just, I don't want to say it's more COVID times, Mitch, but I still feel like that they're worried a lot about COVID.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I got ChargePoint to bounce a little bit there. It tried to take VWAP back. It went to 835s on, like, let's say a 15-minute outlook. I want to see this candle eventually close. It can close red. That's fine. Just not break 819 on like a 15-minute and get back up there on the next 15-minute candle. This candle still has what? It has about 6 minutes left. I would say about 5 because you're about to get there towards 10:10 in 15 seconds. So about 5 minutes. I'm going to look for ChargePoint to go green on a 15-minute candle, get back up there towards the 850. So that's going to be definitely important. I can show you guys that on Mumu here. Look at the 15-minute candle to the right-hand side. See how this is red? I'm going to look for this to hold the low, open up the next candle, and get back up there to the 841.
Rivian went as high as 27.35 here. That might set up again. Tilray, if it holds here, maybe that sets up again. Also watching EYSE.
Yeah, Yin.
J2K.
Yin is definitely the way to play it too, right? And that's a nice one to mention there, Beach Bum. Why not play the levered play that we like to, day trade? Well, Yin is one way to play that also. K-Web is 2 times. Yin is 3 times. So maybe I stick to the 2 times one, or is K-Web just 1 time? Yeah, K-Web is just 1 time. It's not leveraged.
Tilray coming back to VWAP here.
K-Web pulling back there. I'm going to be looking for pullbacks on K-Web. 29.86. Good shot there. I'll take it on K-Web if it comes back there.
Oh, Weight Watchers.
Weight Watchers?
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the intraday pattern here. It's just kind of coiling up here intraday, Mitch. And I'm 100%. Thinking that maybe that will produce a trade when one of those ends of the range is broken.
Yeah, somebody's hungry there.
I see what you did there. Crow waiting on a win. This is again in one of those penny stocks. This is a nice little pullback to the dip. Maybe this does go here, Crow. This is not a bad call at all.
You should have tuned in to my interview this morning on pre-market prep. And for all you guys out there that didn't watch it, definitely take a tune in. We had Angie Setzner that talks a lot about commodities, and we were talking about grains prices and things like that are going on in Russia. But the real question that was my question of the day was, Ryan, what about those 3D steaks? You should have seen her face. She was just like, come on, Mitch.
Did she talk anything about commodity spiking, that inflation could edge higher? The thing that I've been talking about.
Exactly. Those types of things. Exactly. You want to tune in and catch that. I'll give you guys a little bit of a teaser there, but definitely check out pre-market prep if you did it this morning.
I have it on in the background, but I'm always busy trying to prepare for this show, and you got to tune
There's
in.
a little bit of a downturn in Weight Watchers. Looks like somebody just got the rug pulled out of them. It's like when you have your protein bar right there and they just took it from you because, man, he got cooked there.
He got cooked. Hey, you didn't go down like that, huh? He got cooked.
Definitely, that one's not going to be a good one, man. That one was setting up for that 1150, and that's a hard drop to go through back towards 1120s.
Rustam, good morning.
Call out.
Am I muted? No. Rustam, you were asking about VRM here. I can't tell you if this is a good buy here. The good news is that we're kind of holding the sideways area we had yesterday. But I don't see anything especially with the declining volume. I don't see a new trade here. Nice looking daily. Maybe this does take the next leg up here. That would be tradable, but I just don't see it yet here today.
Stitch Fix going higher, and I know I normally don't call out a stock like this, but it looks interesting actually on the daily. Can you imagine me mentioning Stitch Fix?
Yeah, I can. I can. What I can't imagine you mentioning is Beyond Meat.
Look at this, though. It doesn't look too bad, right? It looks like it filled the gap on the downside action, right? This was the gap action. It filled it right back, and now it's been holding that as kind of like the support. Now you're starting to come back up through the trend line. Technically wise, it doesn't look too bad, right? I wouldn't talk too much about the story, but hey, story isn't everything all the time, right? What happened to the AMC guys and the apes?
Mitch trying to start some stuff here this morning. I love it.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely love it. Real quick here before Mitch starts fighting the internet barehanded. The one thing about Weight Watchers on this recent move here, they did players dirty, right? This was a stop flush. This is it's in this consolidation range right around the VWAP. They break VWAP to the downside, flush it, stops are hit, right back up. right back to where we were. Glad I didn't play this one because this more so than being wrong frustrates me. When I'm in something and the way the stock trades manipulates me out and makes me look like I have weak hands in something, I don't like that. So I'm glad I didn't get hit on this. Weight Watchers still possible trade later here today. Really need the volume to pick up. XPEV still making highs. Okay, no, so it's in off the high. 2178 it came back in towards VWAP. This might still, this is just an absolute monster. Massive props to Jay Rice, who has been pounding the table on XPEV for months, and I feel like I just haven't even really been listening. And now here I am taking my medicine.
That's how it is sometimes, right? We all need a little medicine. Energy going lower right now. I'm looking to see if that reverses so I can take a shot in max N, but that's the problem. Energy's dragging. Energy a lot of times affects solar, and so I look to see that energy's up to lead solar a lot of the times, and right now you're seeing solar on the pullback. But overall, it's not looking too bad, but there's some stocks there that are doing a little bit better, like Run had a little bit of a push and now pulling back. I'm just keeping an eye on to see if energy can come back to the green, because if that comes further red, well, then I'm not going to come after those solar names.
I was just going to say, watch like the drug names like Eli Lilly. They got ticker LLY. They got an upgrade for their target over at Citi. They reiterate buy. They up their target to 525 from 360. And they say, quote, while our standard DCF derived valuation does not imply significant upside to Lilly, we recognize that the stock is driven by near-term earnings momentum. So watch Lilly. I know that stock has been pounded heavily, and so we'll see if it can make a comeback to, its recent highs a little bit.
Actually at a pretty decent level right here. Real quick, some exciting news. Lynn saying it's Randy's birthday. So Lynn and Randy, who are active supporters of live trading, but also Happy Hour and Benzinga as a whole. Happy birthday, Randy. You get the busy day of the week for his birthday. I hope he's all set and ready to trade this. Happy birthday, Randy.
Yeah, happy birthday indeed. For sure. All right, we'll see what happens here, team. I'm trying to I'm thinking about even adding here to charge point. I'm battling myself not to do it, but that's just because I don't want to open too much risk, right? So we'll see if it takes the move or not. I'm gonna be smart because it's a smaller count. I'm not gonna open just a bigger position than I've opened up this whole time owning the account. So we'll see if it keeps pushing. But do I like the stock the way it's trading? Yeah, I like it. Right now, it just did that 15-minute look that I was talking about, right? I was talking about how I wanted to see on the 15-minute chart.
Here, let me get your chart up.
Yeah, you can do moo.
Oh.
And so here you can see it. What did it do? Red candle held that 819 bottom. Now green candle, and I want to see it come up to the 841 and take that out. 15-minute outlook. Just simply staying on 15 to an hour outlook on charge point, I think is going to help me here. We'll see if it comes into my favor. Right now, I am in the green, but I'm really looking for a move back above the 850s to really kind of take out the intraday high of 855. We'll see what happens there. EV goes. Another way you guys can maybe look at this, you could also take a look at Blink charging, right? Blink getting that pullback recently to 607. I'd look for a takeout of the 627s. And that could get these starting to get going, right? These charging stations
Weight Watchers
have been pulling back for a while.
Sorry
Weight
to
Watchers
interrupt you,
coming
Mitch.
back?
But dude, this was dirty, bro. Like they flushed the stops to the downside. They brought it right back. They try to fake flush again, and now they're trying to take it higher. Let's see if, excuse me, let's see if this actually goes higher. By the way, anyone buying pullbacks on this was winning, not breakouts.
Let me see it there.
Tilray might go higher here too.
So one thing I can clearly see, at least I have access to the ARCA book here. And so what do I see there is, and I can show you guys this, is I see 4,000 shares at 1122, 1,500 shares at 1125. And then another layer down there at 1106. What does this seem like to me? This seems like to me like there was some bigger bidder that was lining up orders there. The market maker could see that that order is kind of sitting there, right? So they can actually take it down to take that volume up really quickly. So it looks like it came right back to that volume, filled up some of that kind of bidding volume that was just sitting there, filled it right back up, and that causes the pop right back here towards the 1150s. So this is how, it could be a little bit schemy in stock trading. So just be careful out there. To me, that seems like a bigger trader getting filled while the little traders get stopped out on that 1120 pullback. That's why it's difficult. And why I talk about one thing, Ryan, what do I always say about wicks?
They're tricks.
They're tricks. And what do you see there?
Bro, it's like midnight outside, dark wise. Like it is.
You got to show us this, Ryan. Look, we got to get you on the phone. I'll send you the link on the phone so you can use your phone.
I got it.
You can show us. All right. I want to see this. Ooh, it's 6 o'clock.
This camera is actually making it look darker than it, or excuse me, lighter than it is.
Lighter than it is. It's like it looks like 6 o'clock out there.
The sky is not light out there. Like the trees are moving. Like there's a storm. If my power kicks out, at least you guys know what happened.
Yes, we know something.
All right, looking for charge point now to start making that move. It's fighting here and want to see it get back above VWAP. 833s is a big level to watch for. When you wish upon a star, it's up 6%. Wish. We'll see if it goes higher today. And believe it or not, look at this daily chart.
I was going to say, guys, watch Walmart and Expedia. There's like news that circulated yesterday, but it's recirculating that Walmart and Expedia Group launched travel benefit for Walmart Plus members. I see Walmart's higher.
That's going to help my BJ trade. We'll see what happens if Costco can keep going higher. That looks good there. And
Expedia
you do have
is not so much. Expedia is flat, I think, about 0.2% it's up. But I know Target, while you have Target up, Mitch, they got a downgrade this morning.
Nice.
From Raymond James. They downgraded Target to market perform from strong buy, saying, quote, our change in opinion reflects our belief that quarter to date sales and traffic trends have remained soft after taking a step down early in the quarter and suggests Target is losing top line momentum.
Believe it or not, when I hear downgrades like that on a stock that's been sideways for so long, I'm like, they must have it wrong. Let's go after it. That's the way I feel about that, Nick. I mean, believe it or not, I feel like sometimes analysts, they they have this tendency of just looking into what? They look into earnings, right? But they're looking into the prior earnings. They're trying to forecast earnings in the future. To me, what hasn't been happening as of late? I've been seeing discount stores get the lift. Why? Because I mean, just look at it. It's an overall industry move here. And that's what I look for all the time. I'm looking for what? I'm looking for industry-wide moves. Not necessarily am I looking for the particular story in Target here. So you can see how this has been kind of lifting through this level. As long as we can start holding this on pullbacks and not break through this kind of weekly outlook, I think we're looking good here in discount stores to start pushing higher. And what has happened as of late? Recession concerns starting to go down, not up. And what are you seeing? You're seeing stocks like Big Lot take a little bit of a leap up. Ollie's take a little bit of a leap up, right? These stocks aren't looking too bad as of late. Just something I'm talking about, right? These are the kind of things that I bring up on Start. Swing trade, of course. Let's keep it going. What are you seeing out there, Ryan?
I was trying to price out a vertical call spread here in Lucid that I could take for a long period of time. One of the things here, JH was saying, Rivian, asking what level short Rivian. I don't know. I would not necessarily short these. I was playing these to the long side today. I'm thrilled to see that this trade not only worked but continued to go. But I'm thinking here what the next move might be. You know, I talk about Lucid so much. I want some exposure, so I was looking at pricing a vertical call spread that goes into January of next year. Basically, looking at buying the $8 call and selling the $14 call, and trying to ride that up as we trade up. But haven't filled anything yet. We'll let you know if I do that. That would be more of a swing trade, obviously.
All right, guys. I'm looking right now to see this C-Web and some of these China stocks pull back, and I look for a nice little pullback entry. Looking at C-Web towards like 43.40s and 43s. So we'll look to see if that can get down there below the 43.40s. Looking for a pullback entry. Going back to charge point at 833 is so important to battle through this and really start to rip higher.
XPEV's still higher by like 29%. Still kind of still like $19, $20, but it's
interesting.
Off the highs.
Interestingly, Nick, this actually has come back into its VWAP. So if you think this is going to go higher today, this is actually a pretty decent spot to trade this against. I'd stop out under right here. Call it like 1969. Nice. Right, that'd be your stop long right here if you think this goes higher. Nice range carved out to 2183 on this name. Maybe we move through 20 here, XPEV.
All right, gonna go ahead here and add to my swing trade in American Airlines. Just grabbed a 1675s on that pullback, and what I want to do now is start holding off the 1650 level. So I'm looking at, I have 1679, and then I'm going to hold off that 1650 level just because off the hourly, I shouldn't really break from here on out. And I'm looking for the lift back above 17s. So risk about what? 25, 30 cents for a move back above 17s. And then really, if you look at the hourly outlook on the daily, this looks pretty interesting to get the bounce right back up there towards like 18 or at least 1750s. So that's a $1.50 outlook there for about a risk of 25 cents. We'll see what happens here. And then looking to see charge point, get that move. Let's go. Charge point, charge up.
You know, Jay brings up an interesting point here, and this, I think, is the bear thesis for these names. But like Blink, ChargePoint, you may get a pop every now and then, but longer term, the Tesla charging and the partnerships will put these guys out of business. So, you know, part of me wonders about this too, because that makes a lot of sense, right? So. The manufacturers putting out some of the third-party guys, but maybe there's a piece of technology in here or something that they discover that makes it necessary, and then these become buyout targets at a premium. So you know, play that any way that you want. I don't have an angle on this either way, but worth mentioning both sides of the trade.
You see, the problem there is that you're going to get to a point where I think Tesla's going to get some fight back by where the government, right? Let's just be honest. Not everybody loves Elon Musk. And you're going to get to the point where if they only start giving it to Tesla, the charging stations, what will happen is you'll start getting regulation to probably step in there and be like, no, we're not going to give you this monopoly on the charging stations. So I don't think that's going to happen. That's personally my opinion. I think that you're actually getting a chance to get these at a very cheap evaluation. Whether you're talking ChargePoint, EVgo, or Blink charging, I like ChargePoint and Blink over EVgo. Why? I don't know. I just haven't seen the outlook that I've seen from EVgo. I have interviewed Blink charging twice, and I also have interviewed ChargePoint, looking for ChargePoint to get back up there. And I think that ChargePoint is, for me, the best one. But you can just stick to the bottom, right? Right now, you have that bottoming action around, let's say, 720s. I don't think you're risking much for a really good upside opportunity there. But has Tesla gotten the charging station love as of late? Yeah, it has. So this is a good mention finally coming out that could support them. It's not about earnings right now, Jay. I mean, I know you're pointing out that they never made a penny in earnings, and it's okay. That doesn't really matter right now. This is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about the situation, the current environment today. We're talking about where the stock's going to go.
What?
By the way,
I was going to say, Ryan, go ahead real quickly. I was going to say Shopify. It's spiking a little bit higher right now, up by almost 1%. There was a tweet from the CEO Toby Lutke saying, "Hold on to your hats," and we're starting to see that circulate on Twitter. So just watch Shopify.
Here we go. Okay, I love what these people do. Hold on to your hats. Okay, let me buy some shares here. Let's see if we pop above here. I bet it gets sold into.
I talked about Shop a little while ago when it was near that 65 pullback. It did do 65.08, but just didn't get to 65. Didn't come to the VWAP. That looks really good off the daily. Daily looks interesting there. It came right into the gap zone, hit the kind of the lows, now turned right back around 65s. 65s hold. This is looking interesting.
Okay, I'm game. Let's play.
Your game. Your game, my friend.
I'm in 300 shares. We'll see if this ends up moving. Just basically playing this for fun, for a scalp. If this goes against me, I'm basically looking for some continued momentum here based on CEO's tweet. If this goes against me, I'm going to cut it. Made nice money on Rivian, so this is all profits basically that I'm trading with here.
When was the tweet actually come out, Nick? If you could do that, look up for us.
9 a.m. this morning.
Okay, so remember that. Now the tweet's been out there now for an hour and a half. Just want to put that out there for everyone to know. Doesn't really mean that it can't keep going, right? I mean, things can always just keep working.
And here come the comments like, here we go. Was this tweet generated by AI additions?
Yeah, Chat GPT tweet. That makes sense.
Also, what a time to be alive.
Tesla EV charging capacity is also an issue for Tesla EV car owners. Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be multiple winners. Let's just put it that way in the charging stations. Is Tesla going to lose out? No, Tesla will also gain. But I think you have an opportunity there. All right, up there at 36 now on ChargePoint. What you got, man?
Speaking of Shopify here, we're popping here, by the way. Let's go. Speaking of Shopify here, I got some beef with Shopify. Their tracking on their app, like I buy from companies and then they tell me to track the order with the Shopify app. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage. Like, it never gives me the information I'm looking for. It's slow to update. Like, I'm actually a little pissed. In fact, I might sell Shopify here on that.
I don't understand, bro. I get really, really good data from Shopify. Way better than Amazon.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I can show it, man. I don't know, man. Where definitely you buying from, Ryan?
I mean, dude, like I ordered golf shoes days ago, and it says that the order was placed, and my status bar is like 20%. There's no update. If I can compare that to eBay, if I compare that to eBay, and I compare that to Amazon,
It's not coming from shop though, right? It's coming from a specific store.
Dude, that's what I said, Mitch. That's what I said. I said using the Shopify app. I order from companies. They force me to use the Shopify app for the tracking, and it's garbage.
I can tell you that it's not garbage, Ryan. I at least
this is a bull and a bear debate.
You know why? You know why? Because this is what I've seen. Ryan, I've seen shop. It's tracking. It's the shipping, and it updated faster than the actual delivery service that was delivering that package, which was UPS. So it knew the UPS data better than UPS puts it out.
That seems...
Why? Because they have access to the API. And so the update on UPS is slower than the update is on Shopify's app.
Okay. But you're talking about the website because, dude, the API is updated off the actual driver.
Yeah. So something's going on there because I can tell you, I went to UPS's website and it didn't have the update, but Shopify had the update.
Okay. I see what you're saying. All I know is I have no data on any of my order. Amazon and eBay tell me exactly where the package is. In some cases, I can watch the truck drive up to my house.
Yeah, I was going to say, I did that over the weekend. They said the package.
In fact, I'm mad out Shopify right here.
Yes. Well, I was going to say, they also got an upgrade this morning, Ryan. They got an upgrade from Citigroup. They maintain their neutral rating on Shopify, but they raised the target to 70 from 65.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know, man. I think it's a battle here. I would love to hear it. You guys in the chat, let's just do it as simply as this. We'll do a little poll action here. You guys throw up shop or Amazon. What do you guys feel is better on the service itself? Of course, we're not comparing the companies. I mean, we'd be talking about, what? What would we be talking about here? Capitalization wise, we'd be talking 1.3 trillion against what? 84 billion. Yeah, yes. Of course, Amazon wins there. But like just service wise, what do you guys think? Throw it up there.
I've never ordered from Shopify.
We're getting it in the chat here. I see you, Nicholas. I see Nicholas Brown over here. Who's that guy, Nicholas Brown?
So, okay, I've never ordered from Shopify, so I really can't. Well, I mean, I can still participate, but just listening to Ryan's feedback, it sounds like Amazon grapples it more with delivery and services than Shopify. But now Mitch, you're taking the other side and you're saying Shopify tells you everything. It tells you when it's coming, where it's at.
The crazy thing is I use Amazon just as much, man. This is what I do. I get things shipped to me. I use Amazon probably more than I've used Shop, of course.
You have a package coming every other day.
Yeah, no lie. I think Nick, the delivery driver from Amazon, he doesn't look to see if I have a package. He just pulls up and then he looks. He's like, oh, hold up. There's no package today?
These people got another package?
He knocks on my door. He does a wellness check. He's like, yo, you guys okay? No, but definitely. He pulls up all the time, man. Why use shop? Smaller business. I agree, Paul C. So why use shop? The smaller business mentioned in the chat. Someone knows, yeah. Teja, I think I said it right there. But shop, right? If you want to support smaller businesses, they're able to keep more of the profitability than going to Amazon. Amazon definitely will destroy you if you want to go sell on their service. So that's what I think shop is a little bit better.
Now, does it update if a new small business opens? Like in the US, will it say, hey, this is a new business?
I mean, they have to go on to the platform, right? They have to set up like a kind of a little shop on Shopify.
Is it like
right?
Amazon? Is it easy to navigate?
I think so. But I mean, you know what, Nick? We're going to do some boots on the ground action. I want you to download shop today and start looking around. I don't need you buying stuff, but I need you looking around, checking it out.
Need you buying stuff.
Coming from the guy that gets an Amazon package almost every other day.
I mean, I ordered something on Wish just to find out if it would ever actually arrive. So you're talking to that guy.
Did it arrive?
Yeah, it did. It took a month, but it came.
By the way, glad that I sold shop for a gain now that it's going red. Or
yeah,
from where I bought it.
Man. It's probably all because of this talk that we're having.
Yeah, we're moving the stock here.
Yeah, right now everyone's tuning in to what's going on here on live trading with Benzinga, talking about the Shopify.
I mean, Mitch, you got really passionate there for a sec, and I just don't see it.
I've seen it, dude. Like, I would actually, you know what? We're gonna have to do a test. We're gonna have to do a test. We're gonna order something on both places, and we're gonna use the tracking to see what is more accurate. We're gonna have to do some boots on the ground, Nick. You and I. We're gonna have to like stalk out the Amazon truck, follow him, be like, "Where's he at? Where's he at?"
God, T-Doc just keeps going.
T-Doc, man, I mentioned it this morning, and dude, when you don't listen to yourself sometimes on pre-market prep, look at
Mitch,
this.
actually, that's
upgrades. I was gonna say they got RBC reiterated outperform up their maintain their 35 target. Citigroup lowers their price target to 29 from 31. Credit Suisse maintains their 27 price target. So it looks like it's all because of the earnings in the conference call. Investors are trying to figure out which way do they believe the results are good. How do you think of it, Mitch?
You want to know what it is? It's this big ass volume bar that happened here on the 18th. Somebody went buying, baby. Because look at the increase in volume that you started getting as of late. So when volume goes like this, and it's sleepy, right? Sleepy volume. Now the volume's waking up, but the stock price isn't. What you just need to clear out long-term trends. So long-term trend line, you look to back. Where's the long-term trend line? Can I clear it? Can I hold it? Look at the week. This gave a weekly wick up there, came right back to the support on the weekly, and now it's taking that weekly candle up higher. 27.41 taken out, increasing volume into the move. Sleepy moves. This is what I look for a lot of the times. This was a nice one. What do I want to see? I want to see some volume getting in before the move. Get that spike, trap that guy, and then look for it to take him out on the upside. And once he's taken him out, you want to see the volume increase here again and continue to follow. Now I'd be looking for pullbacks around that level, around 27 for T-Doc. So that's how I go about it, guys. So that's how I sometimes take a look at that. And I'm like, that's why I mentioned it this morning on pre-market prep, because it just looked really good with that amount of volume just setting up like, hey, you guys might not be looking at it, but somebody definitely is with that volume getting the jump the way it was.
Things have seemed to have kind of slowed down here. Market really kind of just sitting in one spot. Maybe this is the pre-Fed malaise.
Calm before the storm.
Calm before the storm. Yeah, I got the storm outside my window here.
Yeah, that's the storm, man. That's for sure. All right, red to green. Yeah, I called it a little bit earlier too, Jay. I said Coke was coming down there towards the 62. Was looking for it to bounce off that 62, come right back up. It's starting to hold that 62 on pullback. That actually looks interesting. I could see it maybe making a move to like 63. Do I see 64 today? No, but 63 seems to make sense there. It definitely went kind of green to red. Now I'm going to look for it to go red to green right back up. So we'll see what happens there.
Works, penny stock Works is really pushing here. Crow mentioned that. Mitch, Sam wants you to take a look at Unity and also tell him where Zunaid is.
Zunaid, dude, where in the world is Zunaid, man? Where in the world is our man made in India? Where is he at? He is right in the back. Oh, look at that face. Look at him. Look at him. He's never far.
He's not even ready to be on. He's just straight up.
I know I'm an asshole. I'm that kind of guy. I could just see his face. He was just like, yeah, now I'm screwed. Now I got to come on. Now I got to set up my stream here. This guy, Mitch.
If Mitch is not here tomorrow, we know why.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just a clown. What can I say, guys?
Ryan, save us.
I can't, man. I'm trying.
I didn't know how to rap song. I didn't know how to rap song.
It's not a rap song. He was literally using the tune from Carmen Sandiego and replacing it with Made in India. There was no rap song, bro.
Did we ever find her? I don't know. I don't know if she was ever found.
We haven't found her, man. We're still looking, man. The man behind the curtain. Dun, dun, dun. What's going on, Zunaid? How's it been, man?
It's been good. Taking a look at Airbnb here. I might as well share my charts. Looks like I forgot how to do that. Yeah, I'm just saying.
You see what happens, guys?
I
was able to reel him in here. Reel him in here.
Taking a look at I'm in a small size here on Airbnb as we broke above VWAP, but I'm really looking to position myself if we can go ahead and break this 150 to the upside on Airbnb. I did lose money yesterday on it in the afternoon session. So I made some here, but then I kind of sized in, won the retest, and then it just unfortunately fell and I lost money on it. But looking to get some revenge on Airbnb if we can break above 150.
I shorted Airbnb the last time I traded it and lost. It literally went straight up from my entry. So it was like, get wrecked, noob.
You mind shorting it again?
Yeah,
no.
Right? You can help us out.
I'm not going to do that. No.
All right,
You can
fair.
help us out. We won't
But
be
yeah, be
mad.
worried about the storm.
All right, but it's one of those a little bit of a mixed day now as the Q starts pulling back here, guys. So just be careful out there. We could see that kind of just in between day until what? Of course, the FOMC meeting later today, and of course at 2 p.m. you'll get the release of the PDF that releases from the Fed website, and then at 2:30 you get the FOMC conference. That's really when the fireworks are going to be starting, guys. I'll be looking to see what Jerome Powell actually says. Will he be dovish? Will he be hawkish? All things to kind of keep in mind. Will they talk about raising rates further than the 50 basis points they mentioned on the previous meeting when they did a pause? Of course, everyone expects 25 basis points at this meeting, but will they do another 50 from this? Things to think about, right? We'll see what happens there. That's a little bit later, and you guys can catch all that, of course, right here on Benzinga, of course.
Really quick, Leon is calling out that he's long on spot. So, Leon, I don't have any other context for your trade here, but looking at the 1 minute, looking at the intraday chart here, I actually don't hate that. This is one of the better setups given what we're seeing here on spot. Maybe this does actually trade back up towards 147, pop and break. We did come in towards the VWAP. The only thing that I would say is we're kind of at the top end of this consolidation area. So if this starts to break down, I would just stop out of it. But this actually not bad. I'm not in this, but Leon long spot. Unsure if that was a day trade or a longer term time frame, but looking at this, I can see what you're seeing here.
Well, Zunaid, if you want, you can hop here. I'll let you get back, and you'll be with us in just a few seconds on All Access. So definitely, it's good to see you, my friend, and I'm sure the chat is happy to see you also.
Hey, good to see y'all as well. See you in a few minutes.
All right, and we'll see Zunaid in just a few minutes as he gets over on All Access. So stick around, team. A lot more for you guys right here, of course, on Benzinga. Let's see what else is making moves now. I'll tell you one thing. Charge point pulled back a little bit there. It got close towards the break. 840s, it was a very important level. We were right back towards 27s. I'm still in the green, but I'm setting already a stop limit here. Wouldn't want it to cut the 810s today. If it does cut the 810s, I'm out. The Qs are pulling back, and I think that's also kind of dragging it as the SPY drags back also. Just be careful. We're starting to see certain areas leak and defensive start to go up. So what would I be watching? I'd be looking to see if maybe some value plays start to get at least a lift in the day trading action, and be careful with tech names going to the red. You can see NVIDIA in the red right now. AMD has been pretty weak. Apple was trying to make an up move. It did make an up move. We'll see if that comes back to VWAP here. Microsoft going lower. I think that's definitely playing an effect. And Google going lower. So Google not continuing to rise, but Microsoft going lower is something to watch. And then Meta just recently went back above 300. That might have been a big opportunity here as Meta right back below the 300s. So it did that spike. We were talking about it. Would it break above? It went right back down here. So we're starting to see definitely some tech starting to take a hit. If Tesla starts pulling back, that's why we got to really be careful. This has been helping, especially yesterday. But if these start to turn around, you got to be careful, especially with Microsoft continuing to leak. All right. In a few seconds, we're going to switch over, guys. It's about 10:46. We still got about 10 minutes here, 12 minutes here. So let's see what other stocks are making moves. And if you guys got a stock, let me know. What's a stop limit being mentioned in the chat? What you got, Ryan? You want to mention something?
Yeah, am I on the screen? What is going
Yeah,
on?
I got
Exit
you,
solo
bro.
layout.
No worries.
Okay, so ABVC, this is a potential setup. We're just talking about setups here. By the way, spot pulled off that spot that we were just looking at. But ABVC here, if we get any type of expanding volume through this VWAP, this could definitely be a trade here. Currently at 592, we topped out at just about 687, high sixes here. So if we do get a volume move through this VWAP, this is a fairly decent setup. No position right now. That's just something you can watch. The other one was HRTX. This one continues to push towards the highs here. HRTX. I don't really have a setup here, but this nice little move right here through those pre-market highs at 164 has been a nice grinder the whole rest of the day here. And if we back out, if we look at the daily chart here, you can see what we're doing. We had this big sell-off here, but we seem to be curling back up. Now, it's not really a gap, but maybe we do finally move up towards this 220 area.
Financial staying strong. Goldman Sachs trying to come right back to the intraday high. So financial services, the leading sector right now. Actually, utilities leading. And then right below it, you got financial services. So utility, financial services, and consumer cyclical. Utilities taking off here. Nextera Energy, Duke Energy, Excel, all different names you guys could be looking at. Southern Company, all names that are getting the lift. Or you could just look at the XLU. The XLU will definitely let you know how that looks right now. I'll show you guys the XLU here as that's up there to 68.85. I talked about this on Start Swing Trade, how, yes, you might not be able to get, let's say, a 6 or 10% move, maybe even gain on the XLU here. But I can tell you that these utilities have definitely started to come back. They're one of the strongest sectors right now, and they're really starting to show that nice little lift. Nextera Energy is one that I've been looking at here. It just recently kind of made that lift here towards 76, pulled back to 75 today, holding that action and looking good for a 77 run. This actually doesn't look too bad at all. Look how this kind of came back to the trend line, is holding that 75 today and looking like it wants to come right back to the upside. I'll be looking for pullbacks to get in. That's going to be a pullback for me. Anything closer towards 75.50s, I'll take a shot at this. Nextera getting the lift. All right. Steve is asking an interesting question, and I can use Mumu to kind of show that, right? What's a stop limit, right? So a stop limit is a order type, right? And so when I go here into my order types, I have 6 different orders that I can do, right? Limit, market, stop market, limit if touch, market if touch, right? So what am I looking here? I'm looking to do a stop limit. So what is that going to make me do? That's going to make me first set a trigger price being the area where the order is going to activate and actually go into the active window, right? So the trigger price here would be 811, and then it would send in a limit price at what I set the price to be at over here on the left-hand side. So I'm setting the price at 810, and on target a trigger price at 811s. So if 811 shows up on the bid, it's going to trigger that order in, and it's going to trigger it as a limit order at 810. What could this help or hurt me on? Let's say if it washed out straight to 8, it might not fill me at that 810. But if for any reason it trickles down to like 809s and then it's 810s on the offer and then just comes right back up towards that 810, I'll get filled at exactly 810 and not lose more on the slippage. Am I buying some more American? I already got some more. I got some at 1679. So I'm taking a little bit more of a shot here. Now, the big thing for me is it not breaking 1650. So we're really close to that level on the pullback there for American. We'll look to see if it breaks that. I shouldn't see it break that 1650s. If it breaks 1650s, it can come right back down towards 1633s, and I'm not going to be a part of it. So what I can do here is just set a stop there, and I'll give myself a little bit of cushion, right? I can do like 1640s. If it gets to that 1640s, I'm getting out there. I don't have a massive position here. I'm just starting it because I'm really looking for a bigger move right back up there towards 18 or 19s. But if it comes back to this low 1690s, it could go back all the way to like 15s or 14s. So this is kind of either the level that it could hold prior resistance created as support, or the next layer down would be a move to 15. So I got to be careful here. Take a shot, but also not just get washed out to the 15. And I got you, Steve. I like to do those, especially when I have to go and do other work stuff. Like in just a few minutes, I'll have to go do some other work stuff. I can't watch this position nonstop. If I was watching the position nonstop, I would have that limit set there at 8:10, and I'd be watching the action to see what happens. If it goes to that 8:10 spot, I can hit limit out, right? Well, right now at this point, I'm just watching it. But at the same time, when I take my eyes off of a position, I want to make sure I have some protection on, because no matter what, I'm not going to lose more than what on this position. For the Moo account, that's going to be like $4 to $6. Those are the average losses. I'm keeping them there because it's been working.
Buddy's frightened by the storm, so he's come in here to kind of hang out.
Yeah,
he doesn't like thunder very much.
Yeah, and my cat either. It can't handle the rain at all. All right. What about XRP? Netflix. Will prices go down? XRP? Are you guys talking crypto?
Yeah, that's Ripple, isn't it?
Yeah, Ripple. I almost bought some XRP. I'm not gonna lie, before the big rip came out, but the reason I was watching that is I was looking up an old trader that I used to watch, is Foose, Cameron Foose. I don't know if you guys know who Cameron Foose is, but he used to be like kind of an influencer on YouTube. Do a lot of trading stuff, but he's kind of switched over more to the cryptocurrency. So if you want to check that out, maybe take a look into that, see what he's talking about, Ferris, if you're an XRP fan. But the big thing is just continuing to watch the regulation, and also seeing how that goes to kind of buying on Binance, right? Buying on Coinbase. How are the volumes in XRP? All things to think about. In the cryptocurrency world, I did hear some mentions about racing hamsters and racing hamster coin that was like ripping through the moon. But hey, who knows, man? Maybe
Hamster
Nick Brown
coin?
knows a little bit about that.
Yeah, hamster coin? What the hell is that?
Nick, have you heard about that, man?
I gotta be honest, I have not. I
stumped Nick Brown, man. Come on, guys.
Nick, he likes news, but he draws the line at some of it, right?
Yes. When it comes to all these hamster news and different cryptocurrencies, I kind of have no interest, just because in the long run, yes, Bitcoin may go to 200,000, but I say that's nonsense. In the long term, what is crypto? I don't get it. We mean mining Bitcoin. I just block all that crap out and just focus on what's real here.
Look at it here, guys. I'll bring it with CoinGecko. Hamster coin, man. Hams. You got your hamster coin.
We should just make a Faluna coin. Faluna
coin. Let's do it. This thing went from like $1 to like $3 really quickly there over the weekend. It's right back down, but so pretty much it was like racing hamsters. Like you could buy one and like watch them race and bet on them. It was interesting, at least. The SEC might want to regulate the hamster coin. Yeah, that might happen, Paul C.
What has the SEC done? They're asleep at the wheel.
It's interesting, at least. You know what I mean? There's all types of investments in the world.
And you have Lena Khan over at the FTC losing cases left and right.
Hey, we'll see what happens. Definitely.
Ryan's ready to make a comment. I know it.
What's that?
Right? Like the SEC, they've been asleep at the wheel for all these cryptocurrencies. You have Lena Khan with a new report out, or losing cases left and right. Then there was a new report out last night from Politico saying that the FTC could be preparing a lawsuit ready that's going to break up Amazon. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, the crypto stuff, I mean, what are they didn't really understand it. That's why they were kind of moving slowly. I mean, the Lena Khan situation, that's just wrong person in the seat. I mean, just replace her. And the, as far as breaking up Amazon, I mean, I don't think so.
I don't.
All right, guys. We're going to start wrapping up here. If you guys want to keep up with all the major action, of course, take a look at the hot spots, take a look at the stock heat map today. A little bit of a mixed market for sure. We'll see what happens in the Moo account, of course, taking my shot there in charge point now, a little bit in the red. I'll let you guys know what happens. Of course, you guys can keep up with my Twitter account to keep up with what's going on there. We'll look to see if I can continue pushing the account forward, right? Really started to take a really good month here in July. I'm up about 12.9% and trying to finish off the month and continue going, right? Every single month we've been in the green for the small account challenge. I've been green in May. I've been green in June, and I will be green in July. You can bet that. We'll see what happens next month, but continue battling here. And if you guys want to check out Moo, go ahead and hit the link there. You guys can also see the QR code in the top right corner. And you guys will also find it in the description below. So definitely check out Moo. That's going to do it for us today. Like always, we'll see you guys back here. Don't go anywhere because we do have all access coming up. Nick Brown, News by Nick, of course, on Twitter. Ryan R. Faluna, give my man some good follow. He's definitely a great follow. And if you ever have questions about stocks, hit up Ryan. He's always willing to talk about stocks. Give him a nice DM. I want to hear everybody kind of giving him a nice DM.
Why are you inviting
stocks.
people to slide into my DMs?
Because at the end of the day, I answer feedback, regardless if it's in the DMs or not, man. And I think it's important to be available to our investors out there. And I think that's also available. I get traders all the time to send me charts. They're like, yo, Mitch, look at this setup. Like JD's also giving me like Bitcoin outlooks. That's what I'm all about, guys. Yeah, you guys can definitely point out trades just like I can point them out. And then we all make our investment decisions. That's what live trading about Benzinga is all about. It's always good to have you, Ryan and Nick. Now to go ahead and get you guys over to All Access. That's where we get into uncovering the stories of the next opportunities. Have a good one, Nick. It's always good to have you. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring back Zunaid here as we switch over to All Access. It's good to see you guys. And guess what? Zunaid's back just like that. It's good to see you, my friend. I'll let you take over. Have a good one.
I appreciate that. And yeah, feel free to slide into Mitch's DMs with all the crazy questions that you might have. He can definitely be your magic 8-ball. But now it's time for All Access, where we go ahead and bring executives from publicly traded company and sometimes private as well, because we want to make sure that your questions are answered. And today we've got a great interview coming up with Chuck Peluso, who is the CEO of Data Storage Corporation. Ticker on NASDAQ is DTST. All Access starts right now. Chuck, good morning.
Good morning. It's always exciting when I see that intro that comes up.
Definitely gets me hyped up for sure. And you know the company is doing well when you get to do an interview outside. I love that. I feel like I need to do one of those when I get reliable internet. But thank you so much again for joining us this morning. I know we've had some great conversations in the past. I'm looking forward to a great one today as well. But for the folks that might not be familiar with your company, could you please explain it to me like I'm 5? What is it that your company does?
Data Storage Corporation provides disaster recovery, cybersecurity, and cloud hosting. We have around 450 customers. We have our own platform. We don't compete with AWS. We focus on powerful, critical applications, servers that are running through 6 data centers that we have. We have $6 million plus deployed in 6 data centers. We operate through 3 subsidiaries, one with its own platform, flagship out of Florida that works very closely with IBM on projects, whether that's with the Atlanta Falcons and other large organizations that they serve, and Nexus, which is a VoIP and carrier service SD-WAN company. So we provide, because when you need cloud access, you need carrier services to get there. So all very synergistic. We've had some significant growth. I'll go through that a little bit, but for the most part, the company provides something that Amazon, Google, and Microsoft does not provide. And it's a multi-billion-dollar opportunity with very limited competition, 4 to 5 competitors, versus with Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, they probably have 10,000 competitors. We have a similar platform as them. However, our main platform they don't have is this IBM Power Platform that's rolled out in the United States and Canada in 6 data centers. That's the company.
I appreciate that. And that was one of the questions I was going to ask you, is how you kind of differentiate yourself from the AWSs of the world. But we'll get to that here in a second. But the one thing I did want to make sure I asked was how your infrastructure as a service model work, your IaaS. Can you dive into that a little bit for me?
Sure. We started that in 2012. We got into this IBM business in 2010 with an acquisition. One of our clients was wiped out with a disaster, and they were working out of our data center. And we realized that what AWS was doing before, for at least 5 years before, on the IBM power systems, this didn't exist. It was very, very new. So we're really the first ones in on this with, as I say, 4 or 5 competitors. And this is different. It's a different chip. This chip is an IBM chip that runs these powerful servers, whether that's Foster Grant or Philip Van Heusen, companies like that. This is it's not a small business application. It's pretty much enterprise, large companies that depend on us. This software and tools that were developed on these servers are very difficult to migrate. We believe that some will migrate, and in some cases, a Citibank and other organizations that size will remain, with on-premise. But there'll be probably 40% of that marketplace that'll migrate, and they cannot go today to AWS, Google, and they could go to Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't do it. They have a venture with another company, so they're not even involved with it directly. So
I apologize for cutting off that. I thought you're done. But are you concerned about any privacy issues? Or if not, are there any big threats to the business data? I mean, I know you're not competing with AWSs, which you mentioned you might have a couple of other competitors. What are some big threats to your company from growing? And how are you kind of capable of handling those threats?
When we say threats, on the product side, a threat could be software as a service. If a company is using an individual type of software for the application on these IBM power systems. However, if they need to have multiple software that's running on them, they're going to come to us. Also, I would say that if they're testing and using test and development, they'll be also coming to us. But we're offering the full hosting, cybersecurity, and disaster recovery on it. And most of the time, we're doing it better than the actual client. And in this environment, CapEx and preservation of the capital is important. This is more of an OpEx model and pay as you grow. But we're not competing, and we're really not too concerned. Insurance is expensive when it comes to cybersecurity insurance, and in situations that can happen. But for the most part, we do a good job. We do a good job at it. At Cloud. Cloud First is the subsidiary that has the platform, and that was the original Data Storage Corporation.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question is because the other day, I got a notification from Instacart saying, please change your password. Someone's trying to log in from Germany. And I'm like, of all things, Instacart is what you want to get into? But nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and move on from that one. I believe you just went ahead and had a deal that you announced. Would you mind telling us about that with the leading sports and entertainment companies?
Yeah, that particular organization was upgrading video storage, and they need to have fast access to the files. So Flagship, our subsidiary of Florida, works closely with IBM, and together Flagship provided a upgraded video storage, which gives them fast access to see what's going on from their cameras for a physical security type of environment.
When we talk about growth, one of the things that often, we like to look at is kind of like the margins as well. I know you brought in about 6.9 million in revenue for Q1, where you were profitable. Can you tell us about how you achieved that profitability and how we can kind of sustain that for moving forward till the end of 2023 and then some?
Sure. I would say from the fourth quarter to the first quarter, we had a $900,000 swing. So on recurring revenue, it continues to move and data continues to grow. We entered 2023 with $17 million in annual recurring revenue. What happens is also when you sell equipment, you'll get it's a little lumpy. So Flagship does sell equipment. So you will get that lumpiness coming from Flagship because an equipment or a software sale will happen. But there's also software renewal and hardware maintenance that continues with that. Out of Cloud First, which we do segment reporting now, we had $3.1 million in EBITDA out of that company at the end of 2022. But sustaining it requires continue to grow recurring or subscription revenue, which is our main focus. But we're not going to turn away equipment, even though you'll create that lumpiness. So it's according to what equipment sales happen in that quarter.
And then when we talked about data security and, privacy and all those things as well, One of the things I wanted to talk about was AI and how y'all are using it to kind of have it be an asset in your company. And then on the flip side, are you concerned with the cybersecurity threat additionally brought on by AI and what's to come of it as well?
We're always concerned with everything. First of all, everybody's trying to break in, and the biggest problem with breaking in is usually the employee that clicks on a link. So you always have those situations going on. With cybersecurity, it has a slight play with AI because you want to see predictively what's going on, and we do monitoring on that as well. But it's very hard to say that. We're really very focused on capturing the migration that's going on today. It happened on the x86 and the Windows platforms with Amazon, and then Google and Microsoft joined in. And so we're very focused on migrating the IBM platforms over to our data centers with our equipment and having recurring revenue. Our billing that occurs the most is $3,000 a month. We have accounts that are 60,000 and some accounts that are 500, but the number is 3,000 a month. We're very focused on growing that with our channel partners, our direct salespeople, and our infrastructure partners. So it is a main focus for us. That'll stop the lumpiness as well. But there's also a play on cybersecurity with that, because what happens is we offer infrastructure, disaster recovery, and cybersecurity as a package out of Cloud First, where in the case of Flagship, they'll work closely, sports and entertainment, with IBM for a significant, let's say, cybersecurity program.
I appreciate the insights on that. Chuck, we've kind of talked a lot about the past, the present, and what to look forward to in the future as well. But I did want to turn it over to you in case there were any topics that you want to discuss with our viewers or any questions I didn't get a chance to bring up. The floor is all yours.
Sure, thank you. I would say one of the things we're looking at, and we still have $11 million in the bank, growing interest at these rates, which are pretty good, but we are looking to deploy the $11 million. We do not have any debt in the company other than equipment leasing that goes into our data centers. We have $18 million in remaining contract value, proposals outstanding of $9 million in total contract value for those proposals. We're very, very active, very focused on capturing and supporting the IBM base, whether that's through Flagship or migrating from on-premise with the IBM Power Systems to our cloud, and continue to provide some great disaster recovery and cloud hosting, as well as managed services.
I do have one question. I apologize, threw a little curveball here, but I did want to get this one in from our viewer here asking, how are you dealing with the EU data protection rules? Any insight on this?
We really are not. We are focused in the United States and Canada right now. I would love to spend some of that money on building out in the UK. At that point, we'll take a look at it. We're not having an issue with Canada, but the data does remain in Canada. But as we look into the UK and seeing what we can do there, that'll become more of an issue.
All right, plenty of time and space to go ahead and expand as well. Thank you so much. That is Chuck Peluso, CEO of Data Storage Corporation. Ticker on NASDAQ is DTSD. Chuck, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. You take care. And thank you to the viewers for tuning into All Access. And thank you for your questions that you went ahead and asked us as well. We hope you got some insight into the company. But as always, please do your due diligence to see if it's worth investing your hard-earned money in. And we thank you for watching All Access.